Hello, this is Tashida-San Recap. Today I'm gonna show you the full recap the anime called Black God. Hope you enjoy watching. Kada Ibuki is currently a high school student living alone in Tokyo while being assisted by his father, who remits money for his allowance and daily visits by his old childhood friend Akane Sano. Akane Sano calls Kada to remind him not to be late because she cooked him a delicious meal. Kada was riding his bike at the time. Yamada, one of his classmates, saw him and informed him she was lucky because they were both late. After that they went to school even though they were late. Later, Kada is on his way home, riding his bicycle. As he makes his way to the train, he saw a woman enter the train, and he ran after him immediately. After his mother dies from an encounter with her own doppelganger as a young boy. After seeing the spitting image of someone with the same looks as his own mother, Kada visits a ramen shop when Kuro shows up with her pet dog Punapuni. After Kuro receives her ramen from Kada, she is severely attacked by an unknown assailant who was ordered to capture Kuro alive at all costs, despite Kada trying to stop him, and Kuro defeated it without difficulty immediately. He later meets with one of his neighbors, a young girl named Mayu. She claims that she had met her double. After that, only to watch a speeding truck run her over. Meanwhile, an unknown person who was defeated by Kuro hanged in the aquarium, while his leader punished him and killed him because he was defeated. Then the leader said to the members to find Kuro no matter what happened. Then Kada sympathized with Mayu's death and thought it was similar to his mother's death. Meanwhile, Kada was looking while at school. He remembered Kuro telling him that in this world, there are 3 copies of the same person. That if you see it according to the set rule, you may die, have an accident, or suffer any other type of harm. Kada, after having fed Kuro, encounters a tribal end named Seiji sent to capture her alive after the previous encounter at the ramen stop was deemed to be a failure due to the tribal end's defeat at Kuro's hands. In the midst of the fighting, Kada is killed when his heart was pierced by the Seiji's mysterious Exceed energy in an attempt to fight Kuro. To save Kada before he dies from his fatal wounds, Kuro decides to issue a contract between them by exchanging their hearts after she brought him to safety. Kuro is able to defeat Seiji by electrocuting him after she created the pact with Kada successfully. Kada had some new issues with Kuro. Kuro expressed thankfulness since Kada had recovered because their hearts were in sync, and he told her not to leave since Kada's heart belongs to Kuro. Regarding the concept of synchronization, as he felt his entire life had changed after Kuro created the pact. Then, Kada was informing Kuro that he needed to go to school. Then 2 members of the tribal end arrived to kidnap Kuro. He couldn't fight them because Kita was so far away, and he instantly hurried away from the 2 tribe members. Kuro immediately rushed to Kada's school. After that, it was until the encounter with Kada's teacher and covert tribal end agent, Tsubota-sensei, that Kada realizes that Kuro was right all along and thus teamed up with her to defeat him. After Tsubota initially gains the upper hand against Kuro due to issues of synchronizing properly with Kada, the 2 escape from school, leaving an unconscious Tsubota behind after Kuro was able to incapacitate him by synchronizing together in order for Kuro to use her Exceed abilities against her opponent. Excel and Steiner conduct a covert mission to test Akane if she has strong Tera energy flowing throughout her body after the 2 had arrived in Japan. Later on, Akane meets with Kada and Kuro in a small restaurant after being followed secretly by Steiner and Excel from the local bank where she works as a teller. Then Kada immediately grabbed Akane to run away with Kuro, because they noticed the car parked all the time. However, the 3 are ambushed by tribal end bikers sent to apprehend Kuro and eliminate Kada and Akane. With Steiner's intervention, he engages Kuro in a fighting match to test their fighting strength after driving the tribal end bikers away from them when Kuro was not able to defeat the bikers herself. Steiner faces off against Kuro in a one-on-one match, to the point where the 2 Tera Guardians were able to show off their Exceed skills and place the match evenly before Steiner was able to subdue Kuro for the count due to his superior skills against her. Kuro was fighting Steiner at that moment. Excel explained why Kuro picked him to make a contract with. He couldn't then perform Kada's synchro adequately, and Kada immediately told Kuro if he could beat Steiner, and he replied that he was not sure but he was improving in fighting his opponent. And they quickly joined together to destroy Steiner using their synchro. Despite Kuro and Kada's defeat by Steiner, Excel offers to bring them home with Akane. The 2 Noble One operatives disclose information regarding the death of Kada's mother when they show a photo of her supposedly in a covert operation conducted in Okinawa under Hiyu's command, bringing Kada bad memories regarding the death of his mother years ago as a child. Kada is kidnapped from the streets of Tokyo by Mikami Haojo after getting her orders from Hiyu in order to get Kuro to her. Once at the mansion, the 2 Tera Guardians challenge each other to a fistfight. Both use their Exceed moves in order to overpower each other and gain an advantage. But Mikami loses the match when her contractee Shingo collapses and dies due to health complications when he became very old despite his difference with his age and looks from his time with Mikami and using his contact powers. Seeing that he had died, Mikami no longer wishes to fight them and allows them to leave the mansion grounds for good. Kada and Kuro were riding in the middle of the car being driven by Akane while talking about. It saw someone running who was being chased by the tribal end. They came and followed them. When they saw that it was fighting tribal ends, they were enraged. Kada immediately told Kuro to help them, but Kuro refused since they can beat it. After the fight, Kuro encounters Yakumo, the ex-ward of Ryuzen before he massacred most of his tribal clan, in the streets of Tokyo with his new contractee named Riona. Kuro tells Kada how she came to Earth, revealing her origins as the princess of his tribe and the tragic history of her tribesmen after Ryuzen was told by her mother that he could alter the destiny of the world to either lead it to prosperity or lead it to its doom. Hiyu appears at the airport. Kuro tells Kada that Hiyu was exiled to a region after being kidnapped by people and subjected to experiments associated to his contract, and fights Kuro and Kada using their synchro, but they can't beat Hiyu. Kuro was strangled by Hiyu. Yakumo and Riona suddenly arrive before he decides to retreat. Excel and Steiner see Kada and the others at the airport before she gives him the hex ring as a gift to help him fight alongside Kuro. Kada and Akane head to Okinawa, staying with Kada's grandfather in order to confirm whether Kada's mother had really died when he was young or not and what to investigate in the island. After that, they go to the sea to relax and swim. As they walk into the sunset, suddenly, someone appeared among the two strange people and looked at the photo as they were conversing. And Kada asked if they were tribal members. However, Kuro stated that they were Madatsumitama. Ryuzen had started plans to gather all master roots under the protection of the Kaianji group, led with the assistance of Kiraki. As the trio continue to enjoy their Okinawa vacation, Hiyu and his contractee arrive in Okinawa as well, preparing for another mission. Steiner and Excel leads a group of Noble One members in raiding the Kaianji group's main headquarters in Tokyo. Ryuzen was confronted by Excel and Steiner. They used their synchro to attack Ryuzen. Ryuzen also used his powerful synchro wrapped in his right hand to throw at his opponents Steiner and Excel, and it exploded only for Ryuzen to flee to safety. And his soldiers were taken surprise since Excel had blocked it with his hex wall. After engaging Steiner in combat, Ryuzen escaped in a helicopter. Meanwhile, Kuro trains in martial arts under Kada's grandfather in order to improve her skills. Kada, by chance, encounters his mother's double before she attempts to steal his Tera energy. While Kada defeats her, Kuro is kidnapped outside the residence of Kada's grandfather by Hiyu himself. After that, Kada awakens and his mother's double looks surprised. Kada attacks her with the ring Excel given him in order to defeat her. Akane was looking for Kuro when he saw Makana lying down and asked what was going on. Kada heads off to rescue Kuro, held as a prisoner by Hiyu, while Akane wakes up and runs off to rescue Kakuma as he was held hostage by Ryuzen. Then, when Kuro was fighting Hiyu, Kada hit him with the ring that Excel had given him in order to finish Hiyu. Shinobu, on the other hand, quickly told him to go, and Shinobu attacks Kada. However, she said survived the attack by Kada back at the beach and tries to drain off his Tera energy while telling him that she was responsible for killing Kada's mother due to her miserable life under the Doppelganger system before and after making a contract with Hiyu. After hearing to everything that Shinobu has to say about Kada's mother, he smacked Shinobu in the face to get him to go and told Kuro to use their synchro. Kuro and Kada were able to use Synchronize and defeat Hiyu. Shinobu dies as she was not able to tap into Kada's Tera to make herself stronger. When the two leave the cave with Shinobu's body, Kada encounters Daichi, who he knows as Saomura, before he collapses due to coughing up blood. Kada, Kuro and Akane were hidden in Daichi's cottage, revealing that he was supposedly trying to undermine the Kaianji group and the Shishigami clan when he told him that his real name is Saomura, who was supposedly dead when he had jumped in front of a train. He also told him that he wishes to defeat the clan due to their totalitarian dreams of making the earth fit for Tera Guardians to rule. Kuro voiced her objections to Daichi's plans, saying the Doppelganger system is not a weapon to be used. Then Daichi tells Kada that he didn't escape his fate as a sub because instead Kada chose to continue fighting, since Daichi always watching Kada, and Daichi asked Kada to work with him. Meanwhile, Kuro informs Daichi about where to find of his brother Ryuzen, and she swears to defeat Ryuzen. Akane stops Kada from leaving the room because he is jealous of Kuro and claims that he has changed since Kuro came to his side. And Kada thanks him and says he doesn't anymore needs to running away now. Meanwhile, Kuro runs away from Kada and she thanked him for what he done. And then he saw Makana, and Makana asked him to search for his brother Kakuma. Kakuma was killed by a Tera Guardian to gain access to the Tera Stone. while Kada went to Kuro. While running to Kuro's place, Akane pursued him. When he came to a stop, she kissed Kada and said he was going to wait for Kada's return. Then he was at Kuro's place. Then he assured Kuro that they would battle Ryuzen as partners, and quickly thanked Kuro. Kuro and Kada battled Ryuzen, and Ryuzen quickly defeats them. After the fight, Kuro, Yakumo and Ryona escape to ensure Kada's safety while Excel and Steiner engage Ryuzen in battle, with Kyanji group bodyguards ambushing the escapes on their way out of the cave, where the Tera stone was hidden. Excel was made unconscious with Steiner being unable to defeat him, as Ryuzen plans to use the Tera stone to begin his plans to conduct genocide. Daichi appears with his Tera guardian named Reiga and ambush Ryuzen while he was still using the Tera stone with the exceed called the Shiden sword. Reiga reveals that he killed Kakuma to access the Pure Land. Ryuzen was then sucked into a wormhole following his defeat with its shockwave reaching mainland Okinawa. Daichi Kiraki begins his plans to establish his own brand of utopia throughout whole world. Then Daichi returns a visit to Akane to see if she is all well. Akane also expressed an intention to go on a visit to her parents. Daichi also stated that leaving this room is dangerous, because Kada entrusted Utami to protect, since Kada is still missing against Ryuzen, and is told to wait till they beat Ryuzen. The Kyanji group's influence exceeds that of the Noble Ones, forcing them to leave Japanese soil. A few Noble One agents disobey orders and remain in Japan, supporting Kuro and Yakumo to protect Kada Ibuki as he is still in a coma. Tera guardians of the Kyanji group raid the Noble One's headquarters in an attempt to capture Kuro and Kada alive. However, Kada finally awakens and unleashes his full potential, enabling Kuro repeatedly punch the wall chain until it cracked, then punched it over with his Exceed Mega Axe to defeat the attempted infiltration by the Kyanji group. After the fight, Kuro is grateful because Kada has awakened from his coma, and they are happy with the Noble One group and their friends. After Ryuzen's disappearance, the chairman of the Kyanji clan announces that Yuki Kyanji is to be engaged to Kiraki, who will become vice chairman, to the disgust of the Kyanji children. Meanwhile, Kada remains hiding in building ruins of the flooded portions of Okinawa to avoid detection by the Kyanji group intelligence agency. However, he is desperate to save Akane Sano from Kiraki. During Kiraki's inauguration ceremony, attended by the Master Roots at the Kyanji Hotel Ballroom, Bernhard leads a group of Noble One operatives with Yakumo and Ryona to rescue Akane. While Kada and Kuro personally confront Kiraki, Reiga confronted them, and Daichi said his Madatsumitama was stronger and he defeated Ryuzen. Then Kada said that they used their synchro to battle Reiga. While Kuro battles Reiga, Kuro utilized the Surpass Mega Axe immediately as Kada ordered him to, and Reiga punched it. Reiga was going to strike Kuro when Bernhard unexpectedly arrived the scene and punched Reiga. Meanwhile, Yuki threatens to kill Akane in order to end her own misery as a sub and retain her place in the Kyanji clan. While Kiraki manages to disarm Yuki and prevent her from shooting Akane, Kuro and Kada are able to meet up with an injured Yakumo after his previous encounter with an unknown Tera guardian. Kuro finds out that the new enemy is Shinra, another one of Ryuzen's followers, before he went renegade after he massacred the entire tribe and went to be recruited by Kiraki. In the fight by Kuro and Shinra, Kada attacked Shinra with his ring. Shinra believes Kada's strike is pointless, but Kada believes it will pierce the ceiling above Akane's room. Kada, Kuro and Akane try to escape with Yuki in helicopter, but Reiga appears and attacks them. Kuro and Kada assist Yakumo. Kada tells Yuki and Akane to leave first because an enemy is coming and it's dangerous if they don't go immediately, while Yuki and Akane evacuate by helicopter before it begins to malfunction while in the air. It fell into the ocean. Kiraki confronts Kada with Reiga and surprises him when he shows him his master root. Kuro faces off against Reiga, but Shinra attacks first. Using both Synchro and her Exceed Mega Axe, Kuro defeats Shinra, then faces Reiga. Reiga overwhelms Kuro due to the strength of his Exceed energy and Kada's reducing Tera energy. Kada collapses from exhaustion and Tera energy depletion and briefly dies. However, he undergoes Rebirth with his Tera energy is now doubled, enabling Kuro to defeat Reiga with a massive Exceed attack. Kada and Kuro celebrate their victory, while Bernhard and Jun secure the Kyanji Group Hotel, and he defeats the Tera Guardian of Kyanji Group with a massive attack called Dreadful Storm. Suddenly, the Pure Place Island appears near Japan, and people without contracts with Tera Guardians collapse all over the world, leading to chaos with a near breakdown in society. Ryuzen is shown on the Pure Place where he has reverted to his former appearance. The people on the mainland appear to have only fainted, drained of their Tera. Kuro and Kada cross to the Pure Place Island along with Yakumo and Riona. They meet Namu, the historian and caretaker of the island, who tells them the history of the Masagami, Matasumatama, humans and Tera, and how the Doppler system is a curse placed on humans by the Masagami. The four are then confronted by a Tera guardian named Aragi of the Jinko clan with his contractee Sora, hoping to keep them away from the Pure Place. Aragi and Sora using their synchro to show how they powerful against Kada and Kuro. The two clash with Kuro and Kada. Aragi tells Sora to use her Gravity Doom attack on Kada and Kuro, causing their bodies to collapse to the ground. Kuro and Kada felt their bodies become heavier as a result of Sora's strike. Then Aragi using Attack Exceed Juamasu to squash Kuro's body into bits. Then Kada using the Tera powerful ring to attack Sora, to get out Sora's Gravity Doom strike, who are able to defeat Aragi. Kuro using their newly found Exceed skill called Giga Axe, and she defeats Aragi. Meanwhile, Bernhard and some of the surviving German High Council Tera Guardians encounter Ryuzen elsewhere in the Pure Place. Then Bernhard and June fight Ryuzen, and Bernhard unleashes an attack against Ryuzen called Exceed Dread Bullet. Ryuzen barely received any damage from Bernhard's strike, so he hit Bernhard repeatedly until June was almost hit. And Bernhard received Ryuzen's attack, taking a lot of damage even though facing superior numbers. Ryuzen is able to defeat them. After that, Kuro suddenly sensed his brother Ryuzen's Tera, and also Yakumo, at the Pure Place, leaving June as the only survivor. Excel asks Mikami Hojo to form a commercial contract to avenge Steiner. Kada goes on ahead with Kuro, who senses a Tera Guardian deep within the forest. Suddenly, Kada and Kuro are attacked by Kohaku and Tenma. Meanwhile, Namu heals Yakumo by altering his flow of Tera in exchange for food, in defiance of her observer status. Kada and Kuro manage to defeat the Madatsumatama with some help from Puni Puni, but are then trapped in a towering plant. After that, Excel and Mikami find Ryuzen, and they engage in battle against him, motivated by the deaths of their respective former contractees, Steiner and Shingo. They seem to get the upper hand. However, as Mikami attempts to deliver the final blow, Ryuzen causes an explosion, leading to Mikami's defeat. Excel warns the others when they arrive that Ryuzen now has a contractee. Kada and Kuro catch up with Ryuzen, where they realize that Akane is still alive and has formed a contract with him. And Kuro said to Kada that Akane-san is my brother's contractee. Kada and Kuro vow to destroy the Doppler system because of the many lives it has sacrificed. Initially, they seem to be outmatched against Ryuzen and Akane, but as the battle continues, Kada's 1000 and Kuro's Exceed attacks appear to give them an advantage. However, Akane is able to boost her Tera energy, enabling Ryuzen to knock Kuro unconscious. As the exhausted Kada struggles to understand Akane's motives, Ryuzen reveals that Akane chose to join him of her own free will. Then Namu said that the brother defeated the sister. Kuro and Kada are both unconscious. Then Kuro's dog Punapuni quickly went to it. Then Excel and Mikami saw Ryuzen together with Akane. They couldn't believe because Ryuzen was using him. And Ryuzen and Akane enter a shrine containing the Master Tera Stone and absorbs its Tera, destroying its Earth Seal. The stone releases the Masagami, a dark entity that releases ghosts which are physical manifestations of malice. Namu realizes that they are heading for Kuro, the Shishigami princess. Everyone tries to stop them reaching her, and Yakumo and Riona attack the evil ghosts instantly to protect Kada and Kuro, and then Namu carries Kuro and Kada to safety. Inside the cave, Namu treated Kada and he awoke, but she couldn't heal Kuro because he had been seriously injured by Ryuzen. In a flashback, Ryuzen recalls when the Shishigami clan planned to kill Kuro, whom they thought was the reincarnation of the Masagami. He disagreed with their intentions, and in the ensuing battle, Ryuzen wiped out the Shishigami clan. He then offered the sacrifice of his own mother, the Shrine Maiden, to the Tera Stone in order to release the Shishigami clan from the curse of the Masagami. It is because of this that he formed a contract with Akane in the present to break the curse of the Masagami once and for all. As Kuro awakens from her stasis, a surge of Tera energy is released, revealing that she is one of the 3 Masagami. The battle begins between the 2 Masagami warriors and Ryuzen, and he is pounded in separate attacks of magma and ice to defeat Ryuzen. Kada and Kuro now understand that Ryuzen always sought to protect Kuro from becoming one of the 3 Masagami and contributing to the destruction of the world. With the aid of Akane's 1000, Ryuzen unleashes an immense Exceed Senjutsu to attack on the flaming and icy bodies of the 2 Masagami, destroying them. However, they begin to regenerate as Kuro awakens, and she is revealed to be the 3rd Masagami. With her powerful electrical energy, she joins the other 2 Masagami in attacking Ryuzen. Kada desperately calls out to bring Kuro back to her senses, reminding her of their contract. He succeeds in reaching her, and after they synchronize, she turns against the two other Masami. The Masami pair then attack Kada, but Ryuzen intercepts them. He makes one last powerful call to exceed Choujinshi who move against the Masami, but he dies after draining all his Tera energy. The Flame and Ice Masami merge to avoid their possible death and attain a new power. However, they are finally annihilated when Kada and Akane combine their Tera energy to allow Kuro to perform an ultimate exceed attack called Tera Axe to defeat the two Masami. Eventually, life returns to normal, though Kada later discovers that the doppelganger system has not ceased. Kuro blames herself for the situation and takes Kada to the ramen shop one last time. While they eating, Kuro tells Kada that she feels happy that he met him, and recommended eating nutritious foods to live longer. The next morning she leaves quietly to return to the pure place. As she walks, Kuro stops and bids a tearful farewell to Kada, still back at the apartment, but he contacts and bonds with her through synchronization, cheering her up. Later Yakumo follows to accompany her. Namu leaves as well, recording that due to the presence of a Tera Guardian in the sacred precinct, the Masami curse and doppelganger system have faded away. In a series of flashbacks, Kuro looks back at her journey from living with her family, meeting and forming a contract with Kada, to returning to the pure place. Akane looks back from her time of residing with Kada to forming a contract with Ryuzen and the destruction of the Masami. Back in the present, after the ending of the doppelganger system, Akane and Kada get married. Several decades later, Kuro receives a telepathic message from a very old and dying Kada. He tells her that he will take the curse with him, thanking her for giving him a happy life. Kada dies as the still young Kuro gratefully thanks her contractee for everything he has done.